Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle. I'm your host, JR, and I'm here to talk about the NCAA tournament round one. It's still going on. We still have Texas Tech and UNCW that's playing right now. That is currently a 3-point game with 8 minutes left in the game, and Texas Tech just missed a three, so it's sticking there for now. Here hanging out, talking about mostly the Big Ten games from today. But if you're watching live and you want to talk about, I don't know, maybe Clemson getting upset or whatever it was, please do comment. Let me know. Not a ton of upsets day one, right? Creighton upsets Louisville, but I think a lot of people probably could have seen that coming. Louisville was a top 10 team in the AP poll, but how many times have we told you that the AP poll doesn't really mean anything? It's just a whole bunch of writers thinking they are judging based on wins, but we have things like the net and KenPom and everything that does so much of a better job than the AP poll could ever dream of doing, as exemplified in the games with how they turned out in some of these ones today. Like I said, Louisville goes down against Creighton, so that is that's an upset, not like a huge upset or anything, but definitely one that that is notable because there just weren't really all that many today, right? Like I said, McNeese State over Clemson, that's one, but other than that, that's basically all we got. So I appreciate you being here with me. If you're here live in the chat, please feel free. I was supposed to have one of the guys on from Bruin Source with me. Unfortunately, they have an internet outage, which is like the worst time to have it. But I don't. It's like 9:30 over there in California, so. Stinks for them, but I did watch all the games today, and I am prepared to talk about all of them with you guys. So feel free, get in the comments, let me know your thoughts, let me know what you're thinking, and if anything happens in this Texas Tech and UNCW game, we'll react to it live while we're here. So last game of the day could be the biggest upset of the day if it happens. But the good news is zero upsets in the Big Ten. Every single Big Ten team does what they are supposed to do. If we look at the SEC, the Big 12, can't say the same, right? How could I forget? How could I forget? Drake upsets Missouri today. Texas A&M looked like it was close against Yale a little bit. Arkansas did upset Kansas, so that's a 10 over a 7. Not the biggest upset in the world, but an upset. And then Georgia. How in the world did Georgia get into the NCAA tournament? This is a catastrophe. Like, okay, sure, they have some good metrics and stuff, but this is the example of a team that was completely overhyped, that did not deserve to be there just by showing it. I am not one of those people that looks at it and says, you played so horribly, you don't deserve to be in very often, but sometimes that happens, right? North Carolina won their play-in game. If you're going to say North Carolina deserved to be in because how well they did in their play-in game, you can't look at Georgia and say, oh, well, they still deserve to be in, even though they got absolutely manhandled by Gonzaga. Gonzaga shouldn't have been an 8 seed in my mind. I think they probably should have been a little bit higher than that. But the SEC, they have a team lose. The Big Ten does not, and we're going to talk about these Big Ten games again. If you have any thoughts from the games from the day, please do feel free, put it in the comments section, and we'll get to it. But our first game, Michigan does it again. They go into another close game. They win this one 68-65. UC San Diego did manage to take the lead at one point down the stretch. I think it was 60 what was it? 60 was it 65, 63, something like that. There was a small lead they had, and then Trey Donaldson comes down, hits the three-pointer, goes up ahead. It was a huge shot for them. I was texting my buddies while the game was going on, and I said, I don't know, Michigan here doesn't look great. But I said, I've also said this plenty of times this season, and they still come out with the win. And one of their patented ways of coming out with that win is Trey Donaldson. His shooting gene, his clutch ability was huge for them in this one. Michigan did turn the ball over 14 times, and you look at that and you say, okay, well, that's not nearly as bad as you thought it would be against UC San Diego. Michigan did do a good job of getting out on the break and trying to limit the amount of time that UC San Diego was set into their defense, because that's really what it was giving them problems. And I think Dusty May realized that this Michigan team, especially in the second half, this Michigan team is at their best when they are getting out, they are running, or they're just running their offense quickly, efficiently. They are not worrying about what's going on around them. They are not stopping. They are not, playing with their minds as much as they're just playing with their instincts, which is absolutely huge for them. In the second half of this game, Michigan had 5 turnovers as opposed to 9 in the first half. And honestly, one of the biggest things was UC San Diego was turning the ball over as well. They had 6 turnovers to Michigan's 9 in the first half. UC San Diego did manage to correct that in the second half with only 2 turnovers, but still, this was a situation where you should have been closer in the first half, 41-27. If UC San Diego could have just been closer, it would have made for a better opportunity for him. Danny Wolf goes 9 points, 11 rebounds, nearly gets the double double. Trey Donaldson, 12 points. 3 for 7 from behind the arc. Something about Trey Donaldson hitting 3 3-pointers in a game. It's absolutely huge for Michigan. They win games when he hits threes. He doesn't have to shoot the highest percentage in the world, but if he hits those threes, it is absolutely huge for them. Vlad Golden gets 14 points, 7 rebounds in the game. He was in foul trouble. Only, excuse me, only he was in foul trouble, 4 fouls in the game, but only 7 rebounds. It was an interesting game on the boards. That was another reason why it felt like UC San Diego was just able to stick around in this game. UC San Diego was getting offensive rebounds. They were getting rebounds, period, and Michigan wasn't using some of their size to their advantage. I think it was Seth Davis tweeted out, like, oh, Michigan is a reason why size is so important. Michigan was barely ahead in the rebounding battle at that time. Michigan was 10 points ahead, and then UC San Diego came right back. So I don't know what Seth Davis's thing is right now with wanting to expand the tournament and everything else. It's kind of wild to me, but that whole situation, it was crazy. I thought Michigan might have squandered it away at one point, especially when they were not able to finish around the basket late down the stretch. Gale, Burnett, Vlad even got blocked just barely by the fingertips. I don't think they counted it as a block. They should have. Maybe they'll correct that on the box score later on. Actually, let me look really fast here on this one. On the Real app, which is what I have next to me here, they did not count it. If I go to the blocks here, no, they didn't count it on the official stats broadcast site either. So that was definitely a block. He got his hand up there and blocked it with his fingertips and kept Vlad from converting with it. But Michigan was 0 of their last 4 field goals, 1 of their last 7. I believe that 1 of their last 7 was the Trey Donaldson 3-pointer that they hit to win the game for them. I believe I said 68-62 or 65-62. It was 68-65. I apologize. Was the final score of this Michigan game. Michigan goes on to face Texas A&M, and at the end of the game, when they were interviewing Dusty about it, they're exactly right. This is going to be a football match. This is going to be a physical battle against Texas A&M. I didn't feel like Michigan utilized their physicality and their size as much as they should have in this game. And quite frankly, UC San Diego didn't take advantage of Michigan's size either. That was another thing that was kind of crazy to me. Was every time UC San Diego got switched up and it was Danny Wolf on Tate Jones or what was the other dude's name? McCray, I think it was. McGee. Or Vlad Golden got caught up on McGee or something like that. You thought, oh, okay, drive the ball, get into the lane, kick it out to one of your shooters. And it never happened. McGee was 3 for 15 shooting from beyond the arc in this game. UC San Diego overall was 7 of 30. And a lot of that had to do because they never capitalized on getting into the lane, kicking it out to their guys for open 3-point shots. It was honestly kind of crazy the way it happened for them. And I don't know what the UC San Diego coach said to him in the second half, or in the halftime, because they in the first half, They shoot 15 threes. They go for 2 for 3. In the second half, they shoot 15 more. They go 5 for 15. So there didn't seem to be adjustments made from what I could see, and I think that hurt them. I think it also hurt them that Tate Jones wasn't able to really do much damage in this game either. This is something that people who watched UC San Diego should have seen, that UC San Diego wasn't going to be able to go to Tate Jones as much to get him scoring ability, because he does like to back his guys down. He does like the mid-range game so much, and when you have Danny Wolf, when you have Vlad Golden switched onto him, or just on him in general, he doesn't have the fadeaway, he doesn't have the size to be able to get that ball over either of them. So good win for Michigan. I do have some concern about their physicality going up against Texas A&M, but if you watch this show from the beginning, this was my concern with Michigan from the very beginning. Physicality. Can they out physical teams? They did it at times this season. They did it against Maryland in the Big Ten tournament. Like, they can do it. They won that close, just like ugly basketball game against Nebraska when kind of they started falling off a little bit at the end of the season. They can do it. It's just, is that team going to show up? Seems to me the less physical, I'm not going to call them soft, I don't think they're soft, but the less physical team for Michigan is the one that's been showing up more this season. This has to be Michigan's most physical game if they want to take down Texas A&M. And Trey Donaldson, he is going to have to be Mr. March if Michigan wants to continue to move on in this tournament, because it's going to be close games. He's going to need to be able to hit big shots for them. And he's their clutch bone. He's their clutch gene. Got to have it. So, all right, let's move on to UCLA and Utah State. UCLA blows out Utah State. It was never close. It seemed like UCLA puts up 72 points in this game, the 7 seed over the 10 seed. I mean, really, Utah State was a 10 seed. Yeah, sure, they deserved it, but really, like, you're going to put them up against UCLA. UCLA wins this one 72-47. Utah State does not score a single point for the last 5 minutes of the game. UCLA locked in their defense in this one and completely disrupted everything that Utah State wanted to do. Utah State went 18 for 60 from the field, 30% shooting from the entire field. They went 4 for 31 from behind the arc, and UCLA in this one, perfect, 10 for 10 from the free throw line, 48%, 26 of 54, and behind the arc, 10 of 24, nearly 42% in this game. Like I said, I said it on the last episode about UCLA when I talked about them. This is not a team that, can't shoot more than 20 3-pointers in a game. They just have to be intentional about shooting those. They have to actually run sets for those. They have to get their guys open. This can't be dribble around at the top of the key. You don't have an option, chuck up a 3. Those don't go in for this team. They don't have those guys in this team that can do that as much. Yeah, Sky Clark can hit you some threes, right? Kobe Johnson, he has some good efficiency, and he can hit you some threes, right? Sky Clark went 4 for 7 in this game. Dylan Andrew, he went 2 for 4 in this one. So, excuse me, they have guys who can hit shots for them. It's just, can they get those shots, right? It's not run around the top of the key until you shoot it. Can those guys get those shots? And that's what they did in this game. At the half, it was 39-27, and UCLA just continued to build the lead. It was just a dominant performance by UCLA in this game. Can't say enough good things about Mick Cronin, who is 4-0 in first round matchups at UCLA. 4-0 in the NCAA tournament in first round matchups. What an achievement. Never been upset in the first round. 4-0. Mick Cronin, a much better coach than I think some people give him credit for. UCLA seemed to have the matchup advantage in this game. They were familiar with Utah State's defense. It seemed to give UCLA an edge late in the post-game press conference. Mick Cronin went as far as to credit Kevin Willard for helping him in this one. It really seems like Kevin Willard and Mick Cronin close friends. I don't know how close they are, but they are kind of together in this one. But so the defense there was huge, and that just continued to create things into offense for UCLA in this one. 22 assists on 26 made baskets. 22 assists on 26 made baskets. What's that? What's that? I gotta figure out what the percentage on that is. That assist percent is off the charts. 84.6 assist percent. That's off the charts. That's fantastic for this UCLA team. This is the kind of game you have to start the tournament if you want to go deep in this tournament, if you want to make some kind of run. 9-0 scoring run to end the game, the last 5 minutes for UCLA in this one. Just absolute dominant performance and guard play was fantastic. Eric Daly, he was in a situation in the second half where he was in foul trouble, but every time he came in, he was still on top of his game. He was still making things happen. I mean, this was a game that got UCLA's confidence up, right? This is a game that gets them going up against Tennessee in their next one. It just has their confidence up. It has them ready. I kind of had a love-hate relationship with what Mick Cronin did with Ade Mara, and if you've listened to me at all, you know this is my biggest thing. Like it pains me to say Mick Cronin's a good coach when I don't see him playing Ade Mara, but Ade Mara didn't get as as many minutes in this game. He did get 20, so that's good. He's over, right? Play him 13 minutes or more, and you win, Mick. Tell him actually 14 minutes or more, and you win. If you play Ade Mara 14 minutes or more, or actually more than 14, because I think he played 14 against Minnesota when they lost. If you play Ade Mara more than 14 minutes, you're going to win. And Ade Mara was actually injured for a portion of this game as well. But Mick Cronin brought him back in the late part of the game, which seemed kind of risky to me. I don't know if you should do that, but at the same time, it worked for him. So I'm not going to be all that upset about it. It worked for him, so it is what it is. I don't know how to feel about this UCLA team going in and playing Tennessee in their next game. When you look at this Tennessee team, I mean they've been on it. You know, they've been a really good team this year. That's why they're ranked. That's why they're seeded a number 2 team. But I mean, this Tennessee team, are they as overrated as the rest of the SEC seems to be, right? Georgia goes down, and they look completely overrated. Is Tennessee overrated with the way they've looked? I mean, this Tennessee team here lately, they've not been playing good defense. They've not been playing good defense here lately. Now, in this one, I think they held Wofford pretty well. I forget exactly what the point total was. 62. So they held Wofford in this one, but I mean, Wofford, like, congratulations. Okay. You held a 15 seed to about 62 points. This has not been a fantastic defensive team for Tennessee, especially with their pace, too. Their pace has really slowed down the last few games. I mean, it was already a pretty slow pace, but this team is not getting out in the fast break. They are not making things happen. They are not making things happen in the paint either. Like, this is a team in Tennessee that requires, outside the paint, not getting out on fast break and doing those things. This is going to be a slow game between these two teams. I would not be surprised if this is a game that finishes with one team in the 50s and one team in the early 60s or something like that. It's going to be interesting the way this one goes. I will say UCLA needs to seriously do better defensive rebounding against Tennessee in this one, because Tennessee averages 11 and a half offensive rebounds on the season. If you are UCLA, you have got to rebound the ball better on defense to keep Tennessee off the glass. Tennessee has Felix Okpara. He was from Ohio State last year. UCLA fans won't know who Felix Okpara is because he didn't play him as much. Actually, they might have played in the CBS Sports Classic. I forget if Ohio State and them played or not. Look at this, Texas Tech. You're ruining it. Come on, we wanted an upset. We wanted an upset. Oh well, it is what it is. But as far as I'm concerned, that's going to be a huge thing to watch if UCLA can keep Tennessee off the offensive rebounds, if UCLA can continue to take care of the ball as well as they have, and also too, if they cannot foul. Tennessee has done a really good job of getting to the foul line here lately, and UCLA doesn't commit a ton of fouls per game. I'm trying to figure out, their personal foul efficiency, it's .64, which is not anything spectacular, but it's good. It's good. But you cannot foul and put this Tennessee team on the free throw line. This is a team that shoots 74.3% on the season. It's nothing spectacular, but it's good enough that you can't just keep letting this team get to the free throw line. So that's my thoughts on UCLA there. Let's move on to Purdue. and High Point, Purdue and High Point in this one. This one was kind of a scary one for Purdue at points, right? Purdue wins this one 75-63. So you look at the final box score and everything. It looks like Purdue was pretty much in control of this one, and they were for a good amount of it. But High Point had their moments when they kind of came back. Excuse me for a minute. Didn't prepare enough with drinking enough water. Didn't realize I was doing this one on my own, so I didn't prepare with drinking enough water. I apologize, but yeah, Purdue in this one. Braden Smith goes off for 20 points again. Another 40-minute game for him. I mean, his legs have got to be jello by the end of the season, but he's an Iron Man for you. He's playing every single game. He's putting in minutes every single game. Trey Coffin with only 29 minutes in this game. He got into foul trouble in the first half, so wasn't able to play as much. But credit to him, he came in. I think it was with about 6 minutes left in the first half, if I'm remembering correctly. Watched a lot of basketball today, so if I'm not, I apologize. But he came in with about 6 minutes left in the first half and didn't get into foul trouble from there. So credit TKR for that. Also, High Point didn't really go at him as much. I thought they might go at him more with Bodu there at the end of the first half, but they just didn't really seem to go at him as much. It was a little strange. Cam Heide in this one, double double for him. I think Cam Heide heard all the hate I was giving him. So Purdue fans, you're welcome. I've awakened Cam Heide for you. No, but seriously, Cam Heide was spectacular in this game. He did get into a little bit of foul trouble, 3 fouls in this game, but Matt Painter elects to go with Cam Heide starting the second half over Caleb first, and it was because it isolated Trey Kaufman-Renn in the post more, and Cam Heide was on the outside. Cam Heide hits 2 of 4 3-pointers for you in this game, in a game where Purdue only shot 5 for 15 from behind the arc in this game. Cam Heide goes 2 for 4. Braden Smith goes 2 for 4 shooting in this game from behind the arc. Absolutely fantastic. Caleb first gives you 2 points. CJ Cox gives you 2 points. Miles Colvin gives you 4. Jakar Harris only gives you 3. Will Berg has some good minutes in this game. Only played 10 minutes, but we heard about the shin splints with Daniel Jacobson and what was going on there. We heard he might not play, so Will Berg was going to get some minutes. I'm really, really proud of Will Berg. Now, does need to work on the fouling. There was that one foul that was just absolutely ridiculous. I think it was the High Point player was kind of leaning over a little bit, and I think they thought that Berg was pushing him or something. I don't know. Refs are going to ref, right? It is what it is. But as far as I'm concerned, I really liked what I saw from Will Berg out there. Now, I don't think Will Berg had a ton of great matchups to try and exploit him defensively or anything like that, but still, in this game, Purdue shoots 46% from the field. 5 of 15, like I said, from 3-point land, and then 14 of 22 from free throw. They do need to get better from the free throw line. 14 of 22 is not going to win you enough games in the NCAA tournament for this Purdue team to get where fans want them to be. I don't think you beat McNeese State shooting 14 for 22 and 5 of 15 from 3. Unless you just have some really good defensive performances and Braden Smith starts stealing the ball like crazy. Braden did have 3 turnovers in this one. He was 6 of 19 from the field, but you could tell Braden wasn't going to let Purdue lose this game today. He was doing everything, he possibly could. And High Point, they just had zero answer for the pick and roll every single time they went down. Zero answer for him. On the defensive side, it did look like Purdue had some lapses at times, but I felt like they had really strong defense, especially when High Point tried to get into their dribble penetration. High Point was physical with them, and they have shooters that they had around the outside, but Purdue stayed home. They did a good job of affecting those guys. They did a good job of getting the rebounding edge. Like I said, Cam Heide with the bench production there as well. Shot selection I felt like was good for Purdue in this one, even though they were only 5 of 15 from 3, and they were 48% from the field, or 46%. I apologize. 46% from the field. I mean, this was a game where if you're Purdue, everybody's picking High Point. Everybody's looking at High Point and saying, oh, another double-digit seed that's going to beat Purdue. Listen, one more game, and you don't have to worry about the double-digit seeds anymore. You're good. just one more game, Purdue. No, but I think Purdue can do it. I really like this, and I like that Purdue is going to have a day of rest before they get back to it. I really do think that's what killed them the most in the Big Ten tournament was just the no days of rest and how much Braden Smith is just put on him every single game. So Matt Painter said that he just gave his guys rest pretty much the entire time leading up to the NCAA tournament. And I thought that was a great idea from him. Matt Painter not blaming his guys for, mental lapses and stuff like that after the Michigan game in the Big Ten tournament. He acknowledged his guys were tired and give him a lot of credit for that. All right, our final game here. Our final game. Wisconsin takes down Montana in this one. Wisconsin had a really strong start to the game. They went 85-66. Looked like a 3 seed versus a 14 seed, the way it's supposed to look. Texas Tech has, they're going to finish this one looking like a 3 seed versus a 14 seed. But in my opinion, Wisconsin just looked more dominant, and they looked more dominant only shooting 7 of 23 from 3, 30% in this game. You're going to tell me Wisconsin is going to get a 19-point win in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and they're only going to shoot 30% from 3? Come on. Come on. This is a Final Four caliber team. Wisconsin is a Final Four caliber team. They have the defense. They have the smart gameplay. They have all of this stuff that this Wisconsin needs to be a Final Four capable team. Now, they have a difficult path, right? It's not the easiest path in the world, and Greg Gard noted that. They have a BYU team they're going to be playing next. That's a really good team. This is a team that's a little underrated, I think a little underseeded in BYU, but they have some things to clean up on, right? They had some careless turnovers in this one. John Tonji wasn't himself in the first half. Hopefully that's just kind of getting the bugs off, getting the rust off a little bit. But Xavier Amos in this one, 11 points. He had some really good defensive play, was solid, absolutely solid on his rotations today. I think that is one thing about this Wisconsin defense that is getting overlooked is how much better the rotations from the role players has gotten overall in this game. Sometimes you see a star player get better at defense. No. This has been a full team effort by the role players and everybody else. Their rotations, their ability to get in front of drivers, their ability to stay home, not have to help all the time. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a Wisconsin fan, you love what you saw today. Maybe it wasn't as much of a lead as you wanted at the end of the first half, 40-32. Maybe you felt a little bit of concern there, but this is something you love to see. So, me as if I'm a Wisconsin fan, I'm loving it. I'm feeling good about it, and this is exactly what I wanted to see my team do in the very first game if I'm a Wisconsin fan. Come in, dominate. You don't have to shoot lights out from 3, but we know Wisconsin can shoot lights out from 3, and they're going to do a really exceptional job of it. Wisconsin ends with 5 players in double figures. John Tonji, 15 points, 4 rebounds, perfect from the free throw line, 9 of 9. Stephen Crowell, 18 points, 4 rebounds. He was 8 of 10 from the field. John Blackwell, that was really the biggest thing. Montana had nobody that could stay with John Blackwell. They diverted a bunch of resources. Texas Tech wins, by the way. They diverted a bunch of resources to guarding John Tonji, but really they had no answer for John Blackwell in this one. Max Klesmit gets into some foul trouble. He just never really seemed to be in rhythm all game. 0 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He was facilitating. That's good. But overall, just never really looked like he was, together. Never really looked like he was, I don't want to say not ready, in rhythm, is probably the best way to put it. Never really looked like he was in rhythm. So, like I said, Xavier Amos, 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 13 minutes of play. That's fantastic. Really, really excited to see this Wisconsin team continue to play. As we look at some of the stats and stuff like that of BYU, I mean, it's a similar team to Wisconsin. Really high offensive rating. Wisconsin, their defensive rating is about the same as theirs. Excuse me, but this is the season as a whole. I think Wisconsin's defense has gotten better as the season goes on. I don't think the defensive rating for the entire season is going to show that as much. But BYU, a much better offensive rebounding team than Wisconsin is. Wisconsin right now, they are not doing the kind of scoring areas to win these games, right? Facebook. Fast break points, they're not doing well. Points in the paint, they're not doing well. Second chance points are okay. It's probably about mid, but it's nothing. Excuse me, it's nothing spectacular. Really, this Wisconsin team, they're putting up points. They're sharing the ball really well. That's a positive. They're doing a really good job of getting defensive rebounds, so that's going to be important against this offensive rebounding team. But most of all, they're not turning the ball over. Last 5 games, only 8.5 turnovers per game for Wisconsin. They're not turning the ball over. They're keeping it. They're being efficient with it, and they're getting to the free throw line. The free throw percentage continues to be sky high for this team, 82.8%. That is the highest in all of college basketball. The free throw attempt rate, would like to see it be a little bit more, right? That's something they definitely have to work on going up against this BYU team. But yeah, this Wisconsin team is looking like the real deal right now. They definitely have some areas they need to work on. They definitely have some areas that could be vulnerable. But overall, this Wisconsin team looks like the real deal. So, all right, that's my recap for you all. It's 1 a.m. I'm ready to go to bed, and I'm ready to watch some more NCAA tournament college basketball tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're listening to this on podcast after the fact, like, subscribe, 5-star review, do all that stuff. Really, really appreciate it. And sign up for CBB Analytics. CBB Analytics, use code HUDDLE, HUDDLE, on CBB Analytics for $30 off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a good one.